So family, I gotta tell you, I'm super excited right now. The song playing in the background is Mr. Blurryface, right? I care what people think. This is somebody who looks just like his brother, and they used to dream about, you know, flying rocket ships to the moon, and they would prefer to build forts and hang out in forts than doing, you know, the adult stuff. But then all of a sudden life happened, and somebody said, shut up, you gotta make money. Right? And I'm Mr. Blurryface, and I worry about what everybody else thinks. I've forgotten the child in me. I've forgotten my own fucking dreams. I just finished a reading with someone. It was supposed to be a 15-minute reading, 10-minute reading, and it was literally 45 minutes longer because spirit just kept coming and coming and coming. It was amazing. What just came up to me is my spiritual twin is the timber wolf, is the silver wolf, right? That's what came to me first. That's one of his totems. And for me, my spiritual path, I am the red hawk. The red hawk. Archangel Gabriel is the messenger. That is my job, that I was asked to be the messenger, to deliver the messages. So I'm the red hawk. My client, as I was talking to him, I was trying to get him to hear what spirit was trying to say to him. And he wasn't, it was a block, right? And right then, a red hawk smashed into his sliding glass window. And I'm like, oh my God, is it okay? And he goes, yeah, it's strange. It's like, it didn't fly into the window like it didn't know what it was doing. It's like it was trying to get my attention. And I'm like, hello? Yes, it is. And he says, then when it sat for a second and then it took it off. I said, yeah, well, in all reality, that hawk thought he was going through something that was open, but it wasn't. Something he wasn't able to see. There was an invisible barrier that was preventing this hawk from getting through. Well, I had an invisible barrier that was preventing me from getting the message through to my client, right? For my client from getting this message. And what came up, we've done subsequent readings, was post-traumatic stress was causing all kinds of mental fuckery. And it was because of things that had happened in the past that he was projecting onto his present situation, his present relationship. And he didn't even see that there's this barrier, right? And as I was talking, he was telling me the animal totems that were coming up. One was, what was it? He says, right now there's doves flying around. And now there's hummingbirds. And I said, okay, well, the dove is soulmate connection, first of all. It talks about peace. It talks about taking a breath. It talks about pausing. The hummingbird says, lighten up your energy. It also says, go after the sweetness in life, which means go look for the sweetness in life, right? Every animal messenger that came, you know, it was amazing. And as he was talking about, we started talking about the red hawk, and I kept hearing in my head, black hawk down, black hawk down, black hawk down. And he says, well, and I said, and then we started to talk about the hummingbird. I didn't mention the black hawk. I had it in the back of my head, right? Because I was hearing it. And I said, you know, you look at the hummingbird and it's aerodynamically incorrectly built. It shouldn't be able to fly. It's got this weird long beak. It's got these little wings, this big bulbous body, and yet it can do things that no other bird can do. It can fly backwards, up, down, sideways, backwards, right? No other bird can fly backwards but a hummingbird. But nobody looks at a hummingbird and says, what a freak. They look at that and they think, oh my God, that's amazing, right? So then I said to him, it's like a helicopter. The helicopter can go places that no plane can get to it. And I said, you know, what is that? Star Trek, go where no man has gone before, right? And he says, well, except for the Harrier Hawk, Harrier. And I said, the Harrier? And he goes, yeah, the Harrier plane, it's a smaller plane. It can go places where other planes can't go. And so I said, Harrier, Harrier. I think there's a hawk called a Harrier. And I look it up, and there is. It's the Northern Harrier Hawk. And I'm like, oh my God. I said, dude, you just named your totem. It's really cool when that happens. But you need to listen. You need to listen to this. So I looked up the Northern Harrier Hawk. And you think about, okay, so just go up and read just maybe the beginning of the Northern Harrier Hawk. And I started to read, you know, what I found about the Northern Harrier Hawk. And it's one that isn't around as much as it was before. It's endangered. It's also a hawk that flows lower to the ground. The male flows lower to the ground than the female does. So he's needing to see things from a higher perspective. He's flying too low to the ground, right? He needs to fly higher to see the reality of the truth that's going on. But why does he fly lower? Because he's looking for prey, the ones that are going to, he needs to detach. But he was looking for trouble. He was looking for who would be a threat to his mate. So if you're going to look for trouble, you're going to fucking find it. Go higher. So that's not the only thing. I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, we all know the hawk says look at things from a higher perspective, right? A hawk can see 250 feet in the ground. They can see a little tiny mouse. Their vision is amazing. Hawkeye, right? Their vision is incredible. But if a hawk is sitting on the ground, it's not doing him any good. He needs to get up and see things from a higher perspective, right? Their talons, they grab onto what they grab onto, they don't let go. That's what it, so if you're going to grab onto something incorrectly, you're not letting go of something you need to let go of. You need to look at things from a higher perspective. So I start to look, and I just thought, well, I'll just take a gamble. And I put Harrier Hawk Totem in. I didn't know that there was a specific totem for the Harrier Hawk. I knew that there's a totem message for the regular hawk, just for hawk, right? Just like horse has a totem, but there's also a message for the black horse or the white horse, right? Their dog has a blanket message, but there's a specific message for the golden retriever or for the German shepherd. You think about the animals, they're different. They're the same species, but they're different of those species, right? They have different abilities. So I was so excited to see, because his last message was that he needs to create a talisman, create a tattoo, do a drawing, purchase something, whatever this was. He was going to imbue the wisdom and the power of the wolf into this totem. So he's got two totems talking to him. Then this comes up, and I'm like, oh my God, you named your talisman, your totem. It should be a wolf and a hawk, but not a red hawk, not a regular hawk, a Harrier Hawk. So I'm super excited because I didn't freaking even know. I work with animal messengers. I am a shaman, and I didn't understand that there's a specific message for the Harrier Hawk. So what's really cool is there's an oracle card. There's a deck that somebody writes, and what's amazing is the deck is created by a woman with the same name as his fiance. This is a message to him, if that's not spirit screaming at him. And I've said to all of you guys, I can't even trust my dreams anymore because I have such an active imagination. And my dreams, yes, I have prophetic dreams and I'm shown things, but sometimes what I'm looking at is not prophetic. And unfortunately for me, sometimes the things that I'm shown in my prophetic dreams, I see 6 years in advance. So I don't know. I can't even trust my dreams. I can't trust my dreams to act upon them. I trust my dreams to get the messages. But if you don't know something, don't act. You're going to fuck things up, Sherry. Now, instead of using that crazy imagination to imagine the worst, because you're seeing this, you've got to look at it from a higher perspective. What does it mean spiritually? What else could it mean? What else could you be shown? Because you can pick and pull certain messages out from the totem messages. I'm zero. He says, I want to talk to you because I'm very upset when I look at what the hawk is telling me. And I knew what he was looking at. But what he wasn't looking at was the message. There were 3 really loud messages, and 2 of them he wasn't even looking at. The third one was the one he was focused on, which wasn't even the truth. So it talks to me. I said, you are helping me because in my dreams, I'm shown things. And I've been very angry at my twin. I've been hurt. I've been upset because I saw things. I know I'm gifted. But one of the messages that came out from him, and I say to him, I take these messages for myself as well. I listen, right? So these are the messages that all came out. But the first and the final that came out again was heed wise counsel. And the message is when you see the color green, or when it begins to rain, what you think you know, stop. What you're thinking you're going to do because you think you're so smart, you think you've got it all figured out, you don't know what you're talking about. There's something that you don't know, and you need to heed wise counsel. And he was not listening. He's stubborn. He's bullheaded like I am. And he knew because he's smart and he knows and he's looked up information and it says it right there. And I know that there's something that's not right. And I've talked about this yesterday. We know when there's something that's not right, but we may not have what's right. We may not have the correct information. There's something that we don't know. And I kept saying, everything is not as it appears. I'm being shown my twin as the magician. But I get a reading and they were talking about the magician and he was doing really bad things. Well, the magician in reverse is doing something wrong, right? The magician upright is not. So you look at this situation, and what's horrible about this is thoughts are energy. Words are energy. You got to be careful about what you think. You got to be careful about what you say because those are intentions that you send out into the universe, and you're going to fucking manifest what you're saying and what you're thinking. So be very careful of your stinking thinking. Do you like what you're creating? Do you like what you're creating with a thought that you just put through your mind? No. Does it feel good, what you're thinking about? No. Then stop thinking about it. Okay, the what if, because this happened before. Don't put the sins of somebody else on this person. It is not the same person. You know who that person is. You know, because energetically, you are able to feel energy. And you know that that person is good energy. And you know what? If you don't trust that person, you don't deserve that person in your life. You trust that person. Period. And if that person has done something that is not worthy of your trust, that's on them. But don't you create a situation that isn't even there because of your wild, active imagination. Right? These are messages I'm taking. Counsel. Heed wise counsel. You think you know it all? You don't know shit. The more you think you know, the less you actually know. So this deck, which is one I gotta get, the Two of Pentacles. It's an angel oracle card. Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is juggling, right? Making a decision. It's this or it's that. There's two different ways of looking at this. It could be this, it could be that. Which way is it? You're juggling these thoughts. You need to juggle positive thoughts. You need to take your active imagination and focus it in a positive way. I'm going to talk to you about the Harrier Hawk. This is insane. I got messages myself because it was illustrated by another person who in my dreams, I know who this person is, who is. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't stand it. I just can't stand it. Because I know who his girlfriend represents and I know who the illustrator represents in my life. So the Harrier Hawk brings with it something new to deal with. A never-ending cycle of lessons, demands, and chores. Yet I know I'm not alone. And those around me share the same burden. Each of us deals with what we are skilled to deal with. Meanwhile, we only ever carry small pieces of the larger workload, so none of us gets overwhelmed or burned out. Here's your message. Don't be a freaking lone wolf. Right? That was one of the messages here. Where is it? It's definitely Wolf Moon. I will watch over you. Right? This is telling you don't be a freaking lone wolf. Loyal guardian. Two. There's two here, right? Artemis of the forest. I align with Artemis of the forest. I have seen her flaming bow and arrow. I've got pictures of it. I can prove it to everybody. Spirit told me to go down to the wash and meet Artemis. I am Welsh. She comes from Welsh land, right? I am aligned with Artemis in past lives. I have pictures, proof Artemis was with me. This says you are independent and free, right? You're independent. You're not codependent on somebody. You're not going to be a lone wolf, but you're not codependent either. There's got to be a balance. The Two of Pentacles is balance, right? Finding balance. Brother Raccoon, there's somebody else there. You're at a creative block. Is there something you need to say? Is there something you need to write? Because you're a genius. Your overactive imagination needs to be focused in a purposeful way. It's dying to get out. Why not use it in a positive way? You inspire trust and confidence in others. So live up to that. If people trust you and they believe in you, then you give them reason to hold that. You are unlike anyone else. You're very complex, right? You contradict yourself all the time. You're a frog with butterfly wings. That's not even supposed to happen. What the hell? You're a total paradox. But that's what makes you interesting. That's what makes you unique. All of what you think are flaws are actually qualities. Focus on the good about yourself, right? Make a complete commitment to whatever this situation is. Whatever it is that matters to you. It's about completely immersing yourself. This is a mermaid with her best friend right next to her. Dory, go home, right? Dory and Nemo, somebody got freaking lost and the best friend went off and got them and said, come home. E.T., phone home, right? I have a freaking license plate on my car that says E.T. Angel. It's for my twin and it's for me. E.T., phone home. That's the message, right? The unending sadness of looking back. You're holding on to a fucking relic. Something that happened in the past. This is the obsessive replaying of the past. Negative nostalgia over and over and over. It's long dead and gone, but you're still holding on to it. Putting on the sins of somebody else onto another situation. Holding on to something that hurt you. Let it go. It's over. Your imaginary friend resurfaces. Imaginary friend. But your imaginary friend isn't in your imagination. It's spirit talking to you. It resurfaces. There's something from your past that's coming back. A childhood treasure. My daughter said that my twin wasn't real. She said, my mom needs psychiatric help. She thinks she talks to angels, and she's in love with a phantom. He doesn't exist. He isn't real. This says your imaginary friend resurfaces. Right now, there's a hummingbird sitting on the feeder. The hummingbird says you will accomplish what might seem impossible to yourself as well as others. my imaginary friend is going to resurface. Song right now, why can't you just meet me in the middle? I don't even understand how we got here. Everything's smashed all over the floor. Why are we not coming together? This is talking about challenges. Do you have challenges in your life? Use your imagination, your overactive imagination for a good thing. Frog Princess says, no matter how much you think you know, when you see the color green or when it begins to rain, whatever you were going to do, whatever you were going to say, whatever you thought, you're wrong. Don't do it. Stop. Heed wise counsel. Look at my outside. What color do you see predominantly all around me, right? Just because I'm skilled and gifted and I have prophetic dreams and I see things happen and Spirit brings me messages doesn't mean I am infallible and I know everything, right? So instead of using my active imagination to dig myself into a fucking hole and make myself miserable, I use my imagination to create. I'm inspired. This video is inspired. Right now, the Harrier Hawk, which was brought to me, I now have another totem that I didn't even know was there. A message to share with everyone. These ones, they live deep in the Southwest desert. Unlike other hawks, this predator, they keep their nest close to the ground. Isn't that interesting? Most hawks keep their nest up high. This one keeps it to the ground. Very hidden, very secure. This allows others to keep a watchful eye of what's going on outside, right? It talks about a time of juggling responsibilities and personal goals. Like the Harrier has to divide their time between taking care of their nest and the responsibilities there, as well as what's outside in the field, right? The juggling that you're going through at this time is not going to last forever, but it requires your time and your energy. You got to juggle multiple responsibilities, things that might fucking suck. You got to deal with it right now, right? So what you do is you keep your body close to the ground. You keep grounded, is what I was told, right? Sherry, you need to get freaking grounded. That's why you've got freaking quail sitting in front of you. They're birds that fly, but they stay close to the ground. Keep your freaking smoky quartz with you. Get grounded. I was wearing my bloodstone. That's another one for me. I thought this needs to be on me right freaking now, right? Crystals. So, when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel run down, I just dropped my talisman. This is my talisman with my twin. The moon, which is moonstone, which is the divine goddess energy, which is who I needed to find balance. I needed to come more into my divine goddess energy. And blue, lapis, which is of the kings, wisdom from the kings. It's Archangel Michael's color. It's the color of truth and communication. Together, this is my talisman. Together, right? This message is very loud to my client. When he hears this, he'll know what I'm saying. As far as business and career, if you're running a business, it can seem like all you're doing is juggling all the responsibilities, right? There's so many things that you've got to get done on every day. I got to get this done. I got to get that done. You got to find the time. You got to buy the time out from somewhere to get all this stuff done. What do? You can't do everything at once, so you prioritize, right? You get things in order. And then whatever you can't do, you hand off to someone else. You don't be a freaking lone wolf. You've got Brother Raccoon to help you. You don't sit there blocked and stumped because you're trying to do it all, right? If you're part of a wolf pack, the wolf pack has a teammate. You work with your teammate. You delegate authority. You're not doing, the only time you're on your own is when you're replaying the negative past. Nobody wants to be there with you, right? Song right now. All the trauma, all the drama. We got terrorists in the USA. The big CIA, the Bloods and the Crips and the KKK. There's all this shit going on, right? And you say to God, show me, where's the love? Where's the love? Focus on the love, right? How do you love yourself? By not digging yourself into the ground, by thinking you have to do everything by yourself. You don't have to do everything by yourself. You're going to drive yourself and everyone else crazy. So hand it off to somebody else. Hand it off to Spirit. That's my first thing. Hand it off to Spirit. In family and relationships, the Harrier Hawk knows how to get things done. She has to work with and rely on other members of the family and the community. Again, we're talking about community. We're talking about the United Collective. We're talking about our angels. We're talking about our ascended masters. You are meant to be working as part of a team. Teammates, best friends, together, solidly fused together, right? Not separate, not alone, together. So if you have been afraid to ask for help or to delegate authority to other people, this is the time to stop acting like a fucking martyr. Stop being the be-all, end-all. It's not working. It's time to start acting like a team player. Call your team in. I call my wolf pack in. Sometimes the alpha is the female. Sometimes it's a male. They don't feel inferior to one when the other one is taking the lead. If somebody is good at something, they let them take the lead. Why would they take the lead when their teammate is better at it than they are? You're not good at everything. Somebody is better than you at something. You might think you're good at everything, but I'm here to tell you, heed wise counsel, you don't know everything. I don't either. No matter what qualities I think I have and gifts that I think I have, right? Health. Sometimes we find ourselves either in a situation where we pick up something. We're in a situation where we've got to choose this or that. Okay? So this is about like wealth and well-being. Not wealth. How funny that I said wealth. That's interesting. So it must be. But they're basically asking us to step up to the plate and be present for all the responsibilities. Yes, we're here. I'm available. Spirit says, I want to be financially successful. I want to be financially abundant. Clearly, right? Nobody wants to deal with bills. Nobody wants to have worry about being able to pay their rent. So yes, I've got to be present for my responsibilities, my current responsibilities. But I am being told that I need to rest when I can. I need to buy out the time and rest, because I can't allow myself to lose sight of what the bigger picture is. If I burn myself into the ground, I'm no help to anyone. It's all going to collapse. I don't do it all by myself. So how good are you at being a team player? What tasks do you need to delegate to other people? What resources are you currently juggling right now? It's a crazy time. Right now we're getting close to Christmas, right? People are going to, oh God, I've got to get Christmas presents. That, in all reality, you don't have to buy a present for everybody you know. Period. You don't. Sometimes you just don't have it. And it doesn't matter what everybody expects. I'm sorry, this year you get my love. Period. This year I'm going to visit you. I don't have anything to bring too much. But I want to be here for you. Bake a fucking cake for somebody. We have 3 days before the full moon. Something is going to happen in this time. Your imagination might be whipped up right now. Your emotions whipped up right now. Use it purposefully, right? There's a lot of things that we would rather be doing right now, but responsibility and obligation says that we got to do this, we got to do that. We also have to give charity. Like I said, I had a 15-minute reading and it turned into an hour and 45 minutes. That was my gift, right? That was charity for me. But it was also helping you and helping me, because I found messages for myself that are invaluable, right? So at this time of year, you find people giving to the exhaustion. Their money, their time, their energy, they give. They feel obligated to give to their family, to give to their friends, to give. And then there's other causes that are even more important. Like for me, I just donated to an animal rescue organization because I can't freaking handle what's happening to these animals. But I can't take care of everybody. I can't do everything. You know that song, I tried to carry the weight of the world, but I've only got 2 hands. Wake me up when it's all over. Wake me up. I need to be part of a team. I've got a family. I've got a soul family. I've got a spiritual family. I've even got a physical family, and I don't need to be the one taking care of everybody. Everybody needs to step up and do their part. If I feel like I'm a big badass because I choose to be a martyr, no one's giving you a pat on the back for that. Nobody asked you to be a martyr. So if you're exhausted, if you're stressed out, you're doing it to yourself. Don't put it on anybody else, and don't think you're getting a gold star for being a martyr, because you're not. So slow down, breathe, is what the dove was saying, right? Do what you can. Ask for help when you need it. Don't be so egoistic that you don't ask for help. There are people that want to help you. Your wolf mate is saying, E.T., phone home, right? If there are social obligations that are there for you, limit them. Limit them. Relax every single day, even if you take a 10-minute break. Yes, you're allowed to take a bathroom break. Everybody gets bathroom breaks. So if you got to go sit on the toilet at your office so that you can get 10 minutes to clear your head, go do it. And I'm going to say it again. Breathe. It's time to breathe. Do what you can, only what you can. Give help when you can. Ask for help when you can. Take care of the obligations when you can. When you can't, That's fine. Pull back. All the material, give of yourself when you can. This is about shifting. This is about juggling. This is about reprioritizing. Song right now. I wish I would have known, babe, that someday these would have been the good old days. But I was so worried about what everybody else thought. I was so worried about getting ahead. All I could think about was getting there, getting there. Now that I'm here, I look back and I'm old. And all of the time that I wasted. I wish somebody would have told me, this is the most important time of your life. Today. So is there somebody that you need to give your time to? Without technology, like your physical presence, is there somebody that it would mean so much more for you to show up and be there for them? You could go hiking with them. You could go for a walk. You could make something special. Give them a freaking flower. Open your heart, whatever it is. I look back. I think about me and you on that futon. We were just getting started. What happened to that? Turn around and it's 6 years later. And now that I'm here, I'm looking back. I wish somebody would have told me, babe. Today is the best day. Today is the most important day. Those days are now the good old days. Those are the days, remember when? Now we've got gray hair. Now we've got wrinkles. I can't go back and play baseball with my son. I can't go take my daughter and try on makeup. I was too busy doing this or too busy doing that. My girlfriend, all she wanted was my time. She just wanted me to be there. She didn't give a shit about the money. She didn't ask for a big house. She just asked for me. But I wasn't there. Today. It happens today.